Let's have an honest conversation. You're going to learn some things about me today that I've never told anybody. I don't even think my own children know everything. But I have a lot of people that look to me as somebody to guide them or help them in their struggles. And I'm okay with that. We'll start off the year I was born, 1975. I was born into one fucked up situation. The man my mother was married to was so extremely brutally violent that her divorce was granted under the lines of extreme cruelty. By the age of 2, I guess I was being molested. That's what I'm told. But that went on until preteen, teen. Family friend, one of my father's friends, had done some things that caused me to run. I ran, got away from him. I remember that like it was yesterday. Age 7 or 8, went on a camping trip with some neighbors where 2 boys held me down and they ripped my clothes. I couldn't rip them off because I fought like hell. That's a benefit of having 2 big brothers that would beat the shit out of you just for crawling at 6 months old across the floor. So, came in handy. Age of 12, my virginity was taken. That was handled old school. It's shocking I even like guys, right? I even trust them enough to even get in my bubble or anywhere near me. The people that assaulted me as a child, they were all boys or men. So, yeah, somewhere in me I found forgiveness for the male gender. Around 12 or 13 years old, I started hanging out with a bad group of people. They were feeding me pills, weed, beer, whiskey, hash, opium. Yeah, I got out of that when I was 16 by choice. I looked in the mirror one day and I'm like, I don't want to live my life like this. It's not what I want. They were, and I was mean. Oh, was I mean. I didn't put up with no shit from nobody, ever. It just wasn't who I was. I had amazing parents. My mother was phenomenal, but her fuse was this big. We got through that. My father was a phenomenal father. Taught me how to fish, taught me how to work on cars. I was a pure tomboy. You know, I was basically the son in a sense. But my father was an alcoholic my whole life. So the bars always were number one. His alcohol was always number one. Until he had his strokes. Not one has ever visited. Remember that when you think your bar friends are your only friends. 1999, my daughter Brittany, she died at birth. And that was rough. That was really, really, really hard to cope and deal with. Gosh, I just wanted to die, honestly. Got through it. Unfortunately, you could always find me at the bottom of a bottle. There was a time in my life when cocaine was introduced to me. I managed to, the person I was with, I was like, you know what, this shit ain't happening anymore. It's not happening. Walked away from it. 100%. That was what, so many, 25, 28 years ago, I don't know. Thing is addiction's real. And I understand addiction. And we're all addicted to something, right? But I understand that tunnel vision and only seeing that fix or that high or chasing that dragon or chasing that demon. And I promise you, you can walk away from it. But there's got to be a switch that flips. There's got to be something else so much more important that takes that tunnel vision from you. And I'm telling you, you got to find it in your heart to find that love for something different, whether it's your child. For me, it was my child. And I never turned back to it. Never once. It's not that easy. There's never been a day go by that I have not thought about it. My gosh. And the shit today versus 25, 30 years ago, the shit today will kill you on the spot. It's not worth it. And if you're out there fighting addiction or you're struggling with it, do yourself a favor. Write your obituary for your family so they don't have to. You only have 3 choices. Prison, get right, get right, get healthy, get away from it, or death. I went on to get married. Bought my first home. Bought my second home. Then my mom went in the hospital. My demons started coming back. My anger. That pain. I watched her die. I had to make the choice. And she died holding me. I'll never forget her last breath. I'll never forget it. I'll never forget her. She's a strong, badass woman. And she made me who I am today. That's for damn sure. But after that, I'm talking right when my mom passed and I lost her. My marriage went to shit. So then I had to grieve my marriage and the loss of my mother and my best friend. So 2 best friends, right? When looking for me, you could always find me in a song somewhere, singing, and 3 sheets to the wind. Found myself at the bottom of a bottle. You could always find me down the road at the bar. I was not a good mother. Kids will tell you I was. I was not a good mother. I was absent. I may have been there physically, but I was absent. I was more times than I could count. I had friends talk me off a cliff. I just wanted to hold my mom one more time, wanted to see my mom one more time. And then I was so pissed at God. I walked through life angry at him, not believing in him. I was pissed. My faith was so questionable. And I kept saying in my head, man, one day he will present himself to me. Because that's what a friend said to me one day. She's a sinner too. We're all sinners. We still sin. I sin. Still today. He forgives me. He knows the shit that I've been through. We all have a story. We all have a story. But anyways, took me a long time to get away from that. And what did it was everybody I loved and cared about around me was either dying from drugs or alcohol, except my mom. My mom died of COPD and in my opinion, what the hospital did to her. But the night Forrest died, jumped up out of bed, grabbed my phone. Something felt wrong. I jumped. I was waking out of my sleep. That man was an uncle to my children. Never dated him. He's a little playboy, but I never dated him. He was my friend. And he died. And my friend Angie told me, God will present himself to you, and he did. When Forrest died, that's when God presented himself to me. And after that, I changed my life. I changed my life. I knew then that I needed to give myself to God. But then I was afraid to get baptized. Years went by, and I was scared to death to get baptized. People were like, why are you scared? Why? Because I'm going to let him down. I'm going to do things wrong. I'm a sinner. They're like, that's okay. That's okay. We're all imperfect. So I spent some time by myself. Stuck the boyfriend in rehab because he was fighting drug addiction again. And then during that time, I spent myself in solitude. I didn't go to the bars. I didn't drink. I wasn't messing with nobody, nothing. Spent that time with me and God. I didn't have to go to a brick and mortar to do it either. I did it right here in the comfort of my own home, at my own pace, on my time, on God's time. I peeled back all my layers and I exposed all my dirt to him. He knew it all. He forgave me for all of my bullshit, all of my wrongs. I own everything I do in life, and that's what helps me sleep at night. If I did you wrong, I tell you, I'm sorry, I did you wrong. If you do me wrong, I expect that same in return. Own your shit. And let me tell you something, God is real, and God can change your life, and God can make things better for you. But he only provides the tools and the book to guide you. It is up to you to make it happen. I promise you, it will happen, but it is up to you to make it happen. He gives you the tools. You have to learn how to use those tools. There's my story, all my dirt. Yes, I made it through, and I'm still struggling with a lot of shit today. I still struggle with choosing the wrong men or picking the wrong men and thinking I can help them or trying to be a good friend to them or whatever it may be. And I always end up hurt, but that's okay, because for some reason in my mind, as long as they're hurting me, they're not hurting somebody else. I've handled worse, right? Words don't bother me. Words don't hurt me. Some things hurt me, though. Don't get me wrong. There's some things out there that'll hurt my feelings and make me a little bit butthurt. And I'd be like, really? But anyways, there's my story. Some of it. Bottom line is I've gotten through all of it with God. Even when I didn't believe in him, he still believed in me. When I had no faith in him, he still had faith in me. And today, everything I do is through God. I'm not perfect. None of us are. But if it feels wrong, then it's wrong. When it feels right, that's God letting you know, go ahead, follow through. So, there it is. Love you all.